Hello guys, welcome back to another video from Let's Talk Leeds United. In this video I'm going to go through who I think will leave the club if we get relegated and if we stay up as well. A caveat to that, I don't think we're going down. I think we're going to get 3 points against West Ham or 1 point against Tottenham and we're going to be safe. But, you know, it's a real possibility obviously, like we're in the relegation zone with 2 games to go. So it's, you know, highly likely that we will go down. I just think we're going to dodge the bullet and stay up. If you wouldn't mind commenting and subscribing, please subscribe. New channel, obviously trying to build it from nothing. It's quite difficult. So yeah, it'd really help me guys if you could comment and subscribe. Jumping straight into it, the first person who we all don't want to go, who will go, Gnonto. Didn't mean that for that to rhyme, but there we go. He is far too good to be in a championship. Some would argue he's far too good to even be at Leeds in the bottom end of the Premier League. He's, you know, for a 19-year-old, might be 20 now, 19, 20-year-old, his football IQ is through the roof for someone of his age. And I can guarantee you now there's a lot of big clubs sniffing around, hoping that we get relegated so they can get him at a cut price deal. And you know, so if we did get relegated, I'm sure a bid would be launched, but I don't know, before the 5th of June, for example. As soon as the season's done, people will get their bids in. And in my opinion only, some of you may agree or disagree, I think he can play for any team in the Premier League. I think even a top 6 side, he could be a squad player, a cup player, and even start for some of them. Even a team like Man City, I can see him getting minutes at Man City. Obviously, I don't think he would start much because obviously you've got Grealish there. But I think he could be a squad player for them. And teams like Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, I think Gnonto would get into most teams in the Premier League, especially teams like Aston Villa and stuff. He's just quality, you know. And he will be gone if we go down, which is sad. But, you know, it is what it is. How much we get for him, I don't know. Maybe 30 million, 40 million. I mean, if we stay up, I think we could get anything up to 60 for him. I do, because I don't think we'd need to sell him for less than that, you know? And also, I think if we do stay up, there's a chance he could still leave. I think big clubs will put big money in for him. So Gnonto's the first one on the list. Second one, Rodrigo. I don't know how much we'd get for him, but I can't imagine him applying his trade in the Championship. You know, he's a big name. He's had a big career. I wouldn't say he's necessarily too good for the Championship, but I think his agent will try and move him on, possibly back to Spain, if we did get relegated. And I like Rodrigo. I'd like him for him to stay. And I think if we stay up, Rodrigo will stay. Moving on to Tyler Adams. What a player. Again, I think he gets into a lot of teams in the Premier League. You've got to remember these people like Gnonto and Adams are shining lights for a team who have been absolutely abysmal all season. So if you put them in a team who's a bit more successful, has the ball more, etc., I think they'd look even better. I can see him, he's been linked with Juventus, and I think if we stay up, he'll stay. I think if we go down, 100% he'll be gone. Which is sad because, again, I like Tyler Adams and, you know, if we could build a squad around people like Adams and Gnonto, I think you know, we'd do really well. His fellow countryman now, Aronson. I think Aronson goes regardless of what division we're in. I think if we go down, he'll definitely be gone. And if we stay up, I just don't think it's worked out for him at Leeds. It's annoying because I think somewhere there is a player in him. Like, I think he has got potential. I think he's got ability. He's still quite young. But I just don't feel like his time at Leeds has worked out. And obviously Jesse Marsch was a big factor of him coming to Leeds. And obviously he's gone and he's not playing at the moment. And I just don't think his future is at Leeds. So I think he'll be gone regardless. Another fellow countryman, Weston McKennie. Obviously, if we go down, he's going regardless. If we stay up, I think we do get that deal over the line and sign him. And he's had a lot of critics, but excuse me. Last couple of games, he's been pretty decent, you know. and I think we've seen glimpses of the potential he has and the player he was at Juventus and why he played so many games for them. So yeah, but if we go down, McKennie will be gone. Rocker will be gone. Hit and miss, I think. Sometimes I think he looks quality, sometimes I think he looks abysmal. And the fact that Adam Forshaw is now ahead of him in the pecking order, well, for the last game in particular, tells me that Big Sam doesn't like him. And I don't know about Rocker, you know. Again, I think in another team he looks brilliant, and obviously he's played for Bayern Munich. Although it wasn't that much, he still was a Bayern Munich player. I don't think he's going to be hanging around in the Championship. Firpo, I think, goes if we stay up or go down. Again, it hasn't really worked out for him at Leeds. We saw glimpses of the player he was at Real Betis. But the last couple of games, that's been shot down again, and he's back to this clumsy, clammy self. He's not bad going forward, but he literally cannot defend. He should be a left midfielder. He can't defend at all. He just can't. So I think Firpo leaves whether we stay up or go down. Jack Harrison will go. If we go down, he'll go. His agent will push for a move to another Premier League. I think, you'd be surprised. I think a lot of Premier League teams would be interested in Jack Harrison. A lot. All the promoted teams would be. Teams like Aston Villa, maybe Tottenham have been linked with him over the past. Wolves, West Ham. I think Jack Harrison would have a lot of suitors. And I think you'd be surprised how many teams would want him, because obviously he's so hot and cold. On his day, he's a well beater, and then the next week he won't even touch the ball for 90 minutes. Head in the sky or down at his feet, huffing and puffing and groaning. But he is, if we stay up, he's going to have a big part to play in it, and like he did last season. Obviously, not as much as Rafinha, but Harrison was still a big part of our survival last season. We can't forget that. But yeah, Harrison leaves if we go down. Somerville. Now, this is an interesting one, because part of me can see Somerville staying and playing every game and getting us promoted, because he's got quality. He just needs to have... If he had the same IQ as Nonto, he'd be a baller. But he hasn't, even though he's a similar age. But I think a lot of teams will see Somerville as a project, and I think we receive bids for him in the summer, 20, 25 million, maybe 15 million in that bracket. I think teams will pay for his potential, and I think Somerville leaves if we go down. Strelk hasn't worked out for him, really, has it, since Bielsa's gone. Left back, centre back, CDM, never really got a good run in the team, come on as sub at the end of some games, and I just think his agent will want him to move on. I think regardless of if we stay up or go down, especially if we go down, he's not going to be in the Championship. Because I think in the Championship, Strelk doesn't look phenomenal. I think he looks comfortable, and I don't think his agent will want him to look like a Championship player. So I think if we go down, he definitely leaves. If we stay up, I can see him potentially going, maybe staying, depending on what manager we get. And fellow centre back Robin Koch, I think he goes regardless. He's been linked with Newcastle, Tottenham. I don't know how. I don't know why those clubs would want him. I think he's bang average. Again, decent on his day, but not consistent enough. And I think Robin Koch leaves if we go up or stay down. So that's 12 players I've named there. Who I think will leave, and I'd be surprised if even 2 of them are still at the club if we got relegated. I think whether we go up or stay down, it's going to be a mass clear out. Either way, a rebuild, and from top to bottom. And I can see all of those names leaving if we go down. Patrick Bamford, haven't mentioned him yet. Now, I think if we go down, he will stay, and I think if we go up, he will leave. Because I think if we go down, I think whatever people say about him in the Championship, he's a decent striker, decent quality striker, and I think he will stay. I think he'll get lots of minutes, and I think he'll score 15, 20 goals, and I just think he'll stay if we go down. If we stay up, I think, because of the fact we'll move on from him, I think there'll be a chat, and I think it will be, you're not going to be our main number 9, you're not going to be on penalties, especially after the other day, God, and you're not going to be as important as you once were, and I don't think he will hang around. I think there'll be some teams who want him, maybe newly promoted teams. And I think if we stay up, I think he'll want to move on, and I think Leeds will say, look, you can be a squad player, but you're not going to be our main striker. And I don't think that will sit well with him. He's getting on a bit now, not mega old, but he's getting on a bit, and I think Bamford will leave if we stay up. But I think if we go down, I think he stays, And who else stays if we go down? Obviously, the old guard, Ayling, Forshaw, Cooper, Dallas, all stay if we go down. Championship's probably more their level. Obviously we got the option of Cody Drame, but again, I think he leaves. I think he signs for Luton next season, regardless of what division they're in or we're in. And the old guard stay. If we stay up, we can't keep them. Maybe as squad players, and I mean actual squad players, like League Cup, FA Cup, 3-0 up at home, 70th minute, bring them on. And then that sounds so harsh because they've done a lot. And some of them, you could argue, could have a bit more of a role, and I understand it. But for me, if we stay up, we need to move on from these people. We can't be 2024, 2025 and still have Cooper, Ayling and Forshaw starting games of football. Where's the evolution? When are we going to propel up the league, So I think if we go down, let the old guard stay. And I think if we go up, it's on a razor blade. I think they could easily leave, but I could also see them being squad players. Rasmus Christiansen. I think that's a hard one. I can't see too many teams being interested in him if we got relegated. Maybe teams in Denmark. I don't know with Rasmus. I don't even know if I want him to stay or go. Sometimes I think he's, centre-back. He looks brilliant. Looks like a no-nonsense, rock-hard, passionate centre-back. So I think if we could keep him at centre-back in the Championship, that would be all right, and I'd like him to stay. Whether he will stay or not, I can't decide on Rasmus. I think he's on the fence. But yeah, and last one, I haven't mentioned him yet, Sinistera. Like Nonto, I think he's got all the ability in the world, but I can't see too many teams taking a gamble on him. Although it could be a gamble worth paying if he doesn't get injured. Because if he wasn't injured this season, I think he gets 10 to 15 goals and assists easily. And I don't think we're in the mess that we're in. Nonto, Harrison, and Sinistera, if they were all playing every game, I think we're 14th, 13th, something like that. So potentially you could get a team gambling on him, but I've got a feeling he will stay. Even if he stays until January, and then the team sees, look, he hasn't been injured, he's banged in 14 goals, let's take a risk on him. But I think because he's so injury prone, I think it'll be hard for teams to gamble on him. But I do think if we stay up, then he will stay. But if we go down again, it's a bit like Rasmus, I'm a bit on the fence. So yeah, I'm not sure about Sinistera. And I forgot Meslier. Meslier goes either way for me. Stay up, he goes. Tottenham, PSG as a backup. I think Meslier, this is his last season with Leeds, which is annoying because he's got all the ability in the world. He's such a good shot stopper. He's just turning a bit calamity. I don't know whether the pressure's got to him or what, but he's not been the goalkeeper that he was, and I just think we will move on from Meslier and he will want to move on from Leeds, and obviously, especially if we go down, he will be gone. But I'd like to think if we stay up, we could rake in quite a bit of money for Meslier. 35 million, 30 million. And if we go down, I think we will generate a lot of money. I think, Nonto, you're looking at, if we go down, price 25, 30 million. Somerville, 10, 15. Meslier, 20, 10, 15, 20. Rodrigo, 10. Adams, 15, 20. You're looking at 100, 150 million right there. And that's not including Sinistera, Harrison, Firpo. So if we do go down, I think we could accumulate 150 million, 200 million worth of sales, plus a parachute payments. We would be in good stead to bounce back up. But as I said at the start of the video, I don't think we're going down. I think we beat West Ham. We're hoping tomorrow night their game goes to extra time, penalties, and they're all mentally exhausted but still win. And I think we beat West Ham, and I think final day of the season we go into it out of the relegation zone, and I think we get over the line. So this video is very hypothetical because I think we're going to start, but obviously we've got to be realistic. There's a good chance that we do go down. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Just my opinion on who stays and who goes, and what, if you know, compared to what division we're in next season. There'll be a West Ham preview probably Friday or maybe Saturday. And again, guys, it's a new channel. If you wouldn't mind helping me out, it only takes 1 second to like the video and subscribe, maybe 2. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, I'd really appreciate it. But thank you, guys. See you next time.